Miss TorontoUnicorn here to help teach you how to stop hurting your own feelings and breaking your own heart. I have had to learn this the hard way in my own life, and now I witness it happening with my friends, so much so that I've been giving some consistent advice lately to some of my friends, and I wanted to pass that advice to you. It is how to manage your invisible expectations of people, of places, of experiences, of tastes of things, of everything. If you walk around life and you have an expectation of something, or if you assign meaning to somebody's actions without them also knowing that you're doing that, those are what I call invisible either expectations or invisible meanings. So let's apply this to the dating and swinger lifestyle, like swinger club kind of stuff. I recently had a friend who I couldn't bear to hear this story because I had to, as immediately after it was over, tell her, did you just tell me that you got disappointed because a guy didn't meet your invisible expectation and so you kind of like got rid of him? And she's like, yeah, I guess. And I was like, and you don't see the problem in that? So let me walk you through the situation. So this guy was making my friend feel all sorts of warm and fuzzy at the club that we go to, you know, Oasis Sock Lounge. And they had such a great time. They were fooling around, doing all sorts of fun things. And basically they did their, their play together. And then she said that, it was going great, but then he didn't offer to buy her a drink. And she kind of got turned off by that. And so she wasn't all that interested anymore. And I was like, okay. I'm like, did you go to the bar with him? Did he buy a drink for himself and not you? She's like, no. Like, did you ask him to buy you a drink or to go for a drink? And she's like, well, no, but he should have just known. And I know that feeling. There's nothing wrong with being like, I deserve to be treated this way. These people should just know, right? But they don't. Some guys like this, especially in this situation, he was probably in his head about what just happened and where he was, that he didn't think about the etiquette of the situation. And then this girl is suddenly showing some disinterest in him and he has no idea why, right? So that's why I said to her, did you just make a judgment about him not buying you a drink even though you didn't ask him for one? And she's like, well, yeah. And I know that some people still feel steadfast about that, but a lot of people are not going through life knowing your expectations and trying to live up to them all. It is our job as people, as humans, to be able to articulate our expectations. So for example, if I was in that situation, I would have said to the guy, oh, I'm really thirsty. Do you want to go get a drink? Something like that, right? So that would at least give him a chance to be a gentleman, step up, especially if he was like, why don't I go get you a drink? Well, suddenly I'm getting all sorts of impressed, right? But at least I would have given him a chance to be successful. I would give him the key to the invisible expectation in my head. Same with invisible meanings. So same with the dating realm. If you go on a date with somebody, I'm talking to the same friend and she's like, well, he took 2 days to text me after our last date. So that kind of shows he's not interested. And I was like, what? I'm like, honestly, he probably didn't want to seem too eager too. So like, you can't just assume the reason is that he's not that interested. Like, you have no idea what's going on in people's lives, right? And it like breaks my heart to see my friends, especially, hurt their own feelings by like, oh, that guy clearly wasn't into me because he didn't text me, fast enough, or he didn't offer to like make plans, he just let me make the plans. Like, I have a friend who she got a little upset with the guy she's seeing because she's always the one who makes the plans, who says, do you want to do something on this day? Okay, he's always on time, he shows up, great. But she's annoyed that he won't make the plans. And I said to her, well, have you asked him about this? Like, have you suggested it? And she's like, well, he doesn't make any initiative. And I was like, well, you're assigning a lot of meaning to him making plans with you, even though he's coming to your plans that you're making. So can I ask what that meaning is? And she's like, well, that's interest. He either is interested or he's not. He either wants to see me or he's not. And I was like, well, you're assigning a meaning to him not making plans with you, even though he's showing up to the plans you're making and showing a little bit of interest when he's there. So I'm trying to highlight for people that when we assign invisible meanings to things, we're doing it at our own detriment. We're hurting our own feelings. We're making judgments that are not based on all of the information and all of the different perspectives. We don't always have all the different perspectives. Sometimes we got to go with what we have, and I understand that. And, maybe guys, it is a nice thing to offer a girl a drink, especially after you've been, intimate. So those are the kind of things that, yes, we would hope a guy would buy us a drink. But you have to also lead people to success. And by doing that, you make your invisible expectations visible, I guess, so that people can at least know what you're thinking, what you're hoping for. Same with sex. I have to say, if you're just up in your head hoping some guy's gonna go down on you a certain way or give you the foreplay you're looking for, and then you just get disappointed in your head because he didn't, he went straight for the V, and you were still dry as a Sahara, the desert, because it wasn't warmed up yet. I get a lot of complaints from women that the guys that they're with are not giving enough attention to foreplay, things like that. And I don't think none of them are saying anything. They're not like, hey, like this would really help me out or like make this go better for me. They're just mentally judging the experience of sex with people based on whether or not they're meeting their invisible expectations. So this is where I want to tell you that we are the only ones hurting our feelings when we assign meanings to things that's kind of not only arbitrary, it's also just one-sided. And when we give invisible expectations and then measure people's success against it, that's not fair. It's not fair to them. Even if they want to be successful, they don't know the fucking script. I mean, you can't expect anybody to be able to read your mind like that. So please, if you have expectations of people, if you have needs, find a way to communicate them. So at least you can set people up for success. And then if they don't meet your expectations, you can do with that what you will. But at least you won't be the one coming to that conclusion because a guy got dizzy on the way down the stairs instead of offering you a drink at the club, right? All right, this was a very fun topic to do because I keep seeing it everywhere and I needed to address it. So this is applied in your personal life, in your sex life, in your work life. If you have expectations of employees, if you have expectations of coworkers, things like that, you've got to be able to just say them, communicate them, and let people know that this is where you need to meet them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can get this in video format if you're listening to this on my podcast. It is on YouTube, and you can also get links to all of my other podcasts and YouTube channels. TorontoUnicorn.com for all links. I may not have life all figured out either, but I have learned some lessons along the way, and you're welcome to them. Click on your screen to get more of my content.